Oh You Thought Podcast, the place where you get a heavy dose of positivity, sarcasm, knowledge, and ratchetness. Enjoy the show. So this week, I do not have a verse to spit for you lovely people. I just didn't have the time to really pull together a verse that I wanted to do. I wanted to do a Jay-Z verse because I am a Jay-Z super fan. And he's dropping an album tomorrow for those of you that have Tidal and Sprint. So I wanted to do a favorite Jay-Z verse, but I just didn't feel like rapping today. And yeah, I be having verses on the top of my head, but there again, I'm trying to do Texas rappers. And like I said, I wanted to do Jay-Z, but it just did not come together. But that's okay. There's always next week. Good Lord willing. Oh, you thought that being transracial was something that I truly care about. And guess what? I don't. I do not care about all these different, things that people want to be. And it's fine. It's your business. And I say that to say this because I feel like of all the things, I feel like being transracial is just going over the cliff because you're just, you are who you are. And I don't know, I just feel like we're giving out so many passes of, yeah, you are totally free to feel to feel the way you are and look the way you want to look. That's totally fine. But it just kind of boggles my mind because I guess I just don't have a full understanding of how that works in your mind. But I guess to a certain degree, I guess that's how an eating disorder works, especially let's say if you have the body image disorder where you look in the mirror and you see one thing that you're not. So I could get it on that level, but as far as I don't know, this one really triggered me as far as this story I found about this German woman who is taking all the steps to transition into becoming a Black woman. And for me, it triggered me because she's spending all this money to get all these stereotypical things done to her body. Big butt, got these big boobs, and her skin is very dark. And again, my issue starts from the ground level. I'm very proud to be a Black woman, very proud of my culture, very proud of the history that encompasses being an African American. And I will stand by that till the day I die. And I understand people want to gravitate towards our culture. That's cool. Gravitate towards our culture by just learning about our culture. So maybe that way we can stop all the racism that we have towards Black people still in this country, across the world. That's fine. Do that if you just feel so moved to be a Black woman. And if you've seen the picture of this woman, it's just so she looks very manufactured. And this is basically what her thoughts are. They're manufactured thoughts of what she feels a Black woman is. And I just have a problem with that. How come you're not proud of your culture? How come you're not just holding on to your culture and have that be who you are? Because you were made that way. And you went through all the trouble of making your skin darker. You have on this horrible weave or horrible wig that, there again, I feel like if she wasn't spending this money, it would just be so unbelievable to have someone go through the lengths that she's going through to be a Black woman. And it's just and so this is the best Black woman you could be. This one right here. This woman you put together, that's the best Black woman you could put together. And so I feel somewhat offended when I look at the image, and I just feel okay, here we go. And like, and I hate to just, I don't know, I'm not poking fun, but something has to be just not right for you to want to do something like this. Because it truly looks like bad blackface being done in 2017. And it's just unbelievable. Like, there again, like, even like the Rachel Dolezals of the world, like, it's cool that you love black culture, you like black people, all that stuff, that's totally fine. And you still can be about the people and the culture without pretending, in the case of Rachel Dolezal, of being a black woman or changing yourself to be a black woman. This goes twofold for a black woman that may find herself wanting to be white. And you need to love who you are, especially when it comes to your culture. You shouldn't want to change anything like that. You shouldn't want to be lighter. You shouldn't want to have the stereotypical blonde hair, blue eyes, small frame, to feel that you are pretty. And it baffles me, the stuff that I continue to see go on in this world. And I feel like if you go against the grain, you're a hater, or you don't understand, or it's none of your business. Like, yeah, it's none of my business, but it just boggles my mind that a person could not be proud enough to stand in their own skin color, their own culture, and just represent that way. I will never understand that. And she's just all on the internet, just beaming over how she met with her black hairdresser, got her extensions done, and next up, she's going to get her butt injections. And it's just, there again, something that we are advocating to our own community to stop doing. Like, you don't need to do these butt injections. Like, there again, if you want to be a black woman, okay, whatever. You shouldn't have to alter your body to be who you feel you are on the inside. Like, just be that person, or just be a part of the culture. Like, that's what I just don't understand. How come you just can't be a part of the culture and that's enough? And if you like brown skin, just go out there and run, get your little tan, get your little brown skin. But let's stop going over the top, people. Let's stop it. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be a black person until it's time to really be a black person. And you know what? Like, I guess she's going to have to learn the hard way, because she put her suit on. So we going to see how it turns out for her. We're going to see another article saying, oh, you know what? I got tired of being black, so I want to go back to being German, and I'm sorry for this. I wish I never spent my money. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, if you haven't seen this story, please go online, find the story, look at the picture, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, it's really bad to me. Oh, you thought that my girl, she's come like one of my favorite, like, low-key female rappers. Like, she's not giving you like bars, but I like her bars that she does give, and I like her attitude, everything. You thought Cardi B wouldn't be popping in these streets. She's on the cover of Fader. She's at the BET Awards. She's nominated. She didn't win. And she has a new video for her new single that's out here popping, Bodak Yellow. Like, definitely one of my favorite songs. So definitely happy for Cardi B out in these streets, shining and glowing up. So definitely happy for Cardi B. Oh, you thought that my girl, Erykah Badu, wouldn't, playfully clap back, or she don't be paying attention to what's going on social media. And so basically, some people compared SZA to Erykah Badu, calling her like a new Erykah Badu. And Erykah Badu responded, wait, we going too far. And of course she was playing. She had the laughing emojis and all that great stuff. So all love, but just another opportunity for me to talk about SZA. Like, that album is still banging. I still listen to that album every day. I think everybody's song collectively, as far as like a summer jam, a summer bop, as the younger people say, like The Weeknd, like that song just goes hard. Like, even though she's talking about what she's talking about, everybody pretty much loves that song. Like, that's everybody's like one of their favorites. So yeah, that's all I have for Oh You Thought this week. But yeah, so welcome to episode 17 of Oh You Thought podcast. My name is Fallon, and I'm coming to you from Houston, Texas. H-Town, hold it down. Well, we just coming off of June 27th, which should be a motherfucking holiday in the city of Houston. And no, everybody shouldn't get the opportunity to celebrate it. But if you are a hip-hop head, you understand what this movement was about, what people still try to keep this movement to be about, what the Houston rap lifestyle is about, what Houston rappers are about. Like, if you just came from that era, because it's not the same as it was when I was younger. I just feel like they should just make you register somehow, so you carry around your card, and so when this day comes, you can officially take a day off from work and still get paid. And yeah, be free, to just feel free to just steal my idea and make this happen in Houston. Like, it's just when this day comes around, like, I just love the culture of what the whole June 27th freestyle brought to this city and to Texas and wherever else where it has spread. And so, yes, we're coming off of that. We're going into a holiday weekend, a long weekend. We get 2 days off at the job, so I get a 4-day weekend paid, not from my PTO, so I'm happy about that. 4 days to get away from those shenanigans, that zoo. And so this week, basically, I've been going through the quarterly inventory process, which is always so much fun when basically you've been running the show by yourself, as far as preparing the inventory for like 300 locations, under 300 at this point now. And yeah, it's a whole week process, probably like a week and a half. It's a week for us to count and for me to do all the data entry and all the stuff. And then I do the back end work for that. And so this week has really gone by really fast, thank the Lord. And this is my last inventory I'll be doing with this company, since I'm going to be laid off whenever they tell me I'm going to be laid off. And so I'm just thankful. And like I keep saying, seeing this layoff as a blessing. I know it's happening for a reason, because God has a bunch of blessings lined up for me. And it's just time for me to go out there and just officially put my name on them and get them. And so I'm excited about that. Also, I'm on day 6 of basically like my new diet, new lifestyle I'm trying to incorporate into my life, where basically the big bulk of it is not eating or drinking any dairy products. And like I said before, like, I'm a person, I like to drink milk, whether it's white milk, chocolate milk. I like milk. I like to drink it. I like ice cream. I love cheese. I love Mexican food. So it's always cheese, sour cream, all these dairy products, right? So I'm on day 6 of that. And I'm doing okay. But for the most part, it just shows you how much your body gets used to something. And it really feels like you are going through withdrawals. And so on top of that, no dairy, no sodas. I'm also cutting down on the amount of bread that I am putting in my body. I don't eat a lot of bread anyway, unless I'm like at work or something. I might grab a burger or something, but I really don't keep bread in my house. The most bread I might get is I might cook some cornbread or something. But as far as like keeping like a loaf of bread in the house, I stopped doing that a few months ago. What else am I taking out? I'm trying to take out sweets, but I had a bobble with that. I wanted to finish my gelato. Okay. I wanted to finish my butter pecan gelato. And so I did. I didn't want to waste that good money. So I cleared that out. So I should be good on the sweets front. And so all of that. And then, I just want to eat more like good vegetables and all that stuff, and taking more vitamins to make sure everything is just regular and good. I just want to be the healthiest that I can be this time around. Like, I want to get back to where I was in 2013, 14, but I want to go a step further, and I want to be able to stay with the lifestyle change and all that. And so on top of that, I work out, and I do a combination of cardio and then stuff in the house at this point, as far as like core workout and all that greatness. And so everything has been going pretty smoothly. I have days where I'm tired, and it's just basically the motivation is for me to get off insulin, because insulin helps you if you are diabetic, but it's also, I'm finding out, not good when you're a diabetic and you have polycystic ovary syndrome. It's just basically these two diseases fighting against each other, and insulin triggers this hormone, testosterone, which you don't want if you have PCOS. And so a lot of that, what am I saying? I just went totally blank. The gene, a lot of that is found in like dairy products, which helps create testosterone and other stuff. And also, of course, dairy products, they are bad carbs. And so cheese, not so much, but I said if I'm going to do non-dairy, I'm going to cut everything, because I like a lot of cheese and I go overboard. So good thing about me, I can cut stuff off, and, I can do pretty well. And so I'm doing pretty well. Like I said, I feel like, just the only thing that I feel like I'm going through withdrawals, and I feel like this when I quit sodas, and, the first few days I get the headaches and the cravings. And so every day I've been craving like pizza, cheese, nachos, like all those bad things with cheese. And so I haven't done it. I come home, I cook my dinner, or I buy something with none of the items that I'm not supposed to have, and I'm going to do it for as long as I can do it until I reach my goal. And so it's been a good week, and going into a holiday week, like I said, 4 days off after tomorrow. So I'm just excited about that. So I hope you've been having a good week, and let's just go ahead and start the show. A positive mind equals a positive life. When you let go of all the negativity, that is the ultimate glow up. It's time for the positivity moment of the show. Positivity moment. So I've touched on this probably a couple of times. If I didn't already bring it up somehow, some way on the show, I talked about the fact that you need to be able to be alone, to be by yourself. And I came across this post, and I just wanted to share it in the positivity moment, because I just feel like from conversations that I have, from things that I see, that people really don't understand how to be alone. And I was having a conversation with someone maybe like last week, and they really thought that I didn't know how to be alone. And I was just like, no. And now, mind you, this person hasn't been in my life for probably like almost 2 years, and people grow, people change, but I've never been the type of person where I cling to people anyway. I am a loner. I've been a loner all my life. And so, when I didn't have the self-esteem that I have now, I felt like I always needed to be with someone. I'm talking about someone romantically. So when I was younger, I always wanted to be with someone. I was the type where it didn't matter if I was attracted to the man or not. As long as they wanted me, I would talk to them. So I was that girl, and it took me probably going into my college years, like deep in my college years. I always say when I started going to Southern University, that's where I started to change and mature and be aware of myself and be okay with myself. And I started picking up more confidence along the way. And then also having conversations with my father, like when I got older, having grown conversations with my father. And the thing that always stood out to me that he told me was, you have to be your own best friend. And so I always live by that fact. Anytime I'm going through something where I feel like I don't have like a lot of friends or I don't have a man in my life, I always remember my dad telling me that. And he also told me, like, take yourself on dates. Like, don't be ashamed to go out by yourself. Don't be ashamed to go eat dinner by yourself. And I really, like, I was already doing some of those things, but after that conversation, it was like something just really just clicked in my head. It was just like, it is okay. Like, it takes a really strong person to go to certain events by himself or herself. Like, and I do it. Like, a lot of friends, sometimes they don't want to go to Rockets games, so I will go to a Rockets game by myself in a heartbeat. I've gone to concerts by myself. I go out to eat by myself. I go to the movies by myself. I am not afraid to do anything by myself. I travel by myself. Whatever I want to do, I do it. And so when I saw this, I was like, this is good, because I definitely can relate to it. I think this is something that you need to pump into yourself. Even if you are in a relationship, you need to also know how to function without the person that you are with. You can't be so codependent on someone, because what if something happens to that person? You're not going to know how to function. And so basically, that's why I feel it is very important to be alone. And like, you shouldn't jump from relationship to relationship. You really need to find out who you are. And so be alone, eat alone, take yourself on dates, sleep alone. And that's something like, I don't know, like, I think just recently I've become the person where I like sleeping in a bed with someone, and that's normally not me. And I don't have that. And so here I am learning again how to sleep alone. And so sleep alone. In the midst of this, you will learn about yourself. And isn't that the most important thing? Like, how can you offer yourself to someone else or to something else out in the world if you don't know who you are? How are you going to be able to tell people what you stand for? You will grow. You will figure out what inspires you. You will come up with all these dreams and hopes, your own beliefs. And you'll come up with this different kind of clarity as well. And finally, like, once you're centered in yourself and you're comfortable with yourself, you're comfortable being alone, when you meet someone, like, it would be like the best moment in your life, and you will know. Like, when you are complete, you can complete someone else, and vice versa. Like, if you're messing with incomplete people, like, it's just not going to work. And so I found that post or that thought from Facebook. And like I said, I just thought it would be a good post to share in the positivity moment, because we just need to continue to work on ourselves and glow yourself up and love on yourself and be comfortable with yourself. And just a reminder, like, who you are is good enough. And you have to believe that. Like, no matter what happens, no matter what anyone tells you, who you are is enough. And you're perfect. So just remember that. It's okay to be alone. What's popping this week? A lot of stuff going on in the streets. I feel like I just really didn't partake in everything. I feel like I just been in the zone as far as like work, and I just come home and I'm just chilling, trying to relax and just get back to my center. First thing I want to talk about, which leads into a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, is Philando Castile's mom. She settled with the city of Minnesota for $3 million over her son's death. Now, you know, recently that the cop that killed him got away with murder. So we know that. And so I just want to ask the question, like, how do we feel when the family members, they lose the trial, but they go through the civil cases and they get the money? For me, like, I understand, like, because I was reading online and reading through comments and everything. And you know, a few people brought up a good point that that's really the next course of action for these families when they lose the federal cases, the state cases for these murder charges. And they have to keep fighting somehow. And so I think this is just with any other kind of case. They always tell you, well, you can file a civil case, and this is what the people do. But I kind of feel like probably by now, like, these police departments, like, they just expect to have a kitty where they can pull out the money to pay these families and their hands are clean. And your hands are still dirty because you're still getting away with murder, and it will come back on these people that are getting away with murder. I think for me, I feel some type of way because I feel like you can't put a price tag on a family member because that money is not going to bring them back. Yes, it may help your circumstances of what's going on in your life, and you probably feel like your family member will want you to at least get the money. But for me, and most people probably won't believe me, but I just can't see myself like settling. Like, and it's no shot or anything to the families that have gone through this process and they get the money and everything. Like, I understand what you're doing, and I have no clue how it feels to go through what you're going through, but it's a real question, and it's a conversation that I've had before about, you know, how do we really feel about settlement money when someone was murdered and they could have still been alive? Like, I'm tired of all these petty crimes that these people are getting charged with or are getting pulled over for, and they're not getting the opportunity to speak their truth. They're dead, and their families are having to pick up all the pieces, and we have all this anger in the world because things are just not fair, and there's still no resolution. They're just giving out these paychecks now. And like I said, I just feel some type of way. And I don't know, y'all let me know. Like, how do you feel about families getting the settlement money when they lose the big cases for the for their family member being murdered? Just let me know via email, OhYouThoughtFallon @gmail.com, or you can DM me on Twitter, DM me on Instagram, and just let me know. So also this past weekend, we got some good TV. Power started back, and if you haven't watched Power, first of all, get your life together and watch all of Power. And so we're on the new season. If you haven't seen the first episode, go ahead and just move on until I'm not talking about Power. And so they left off with all these pieces, leaving us guessing, like, how in the hell are they going to pull all this together? Is Ghost really going to be in jail? Everybody wants to beat Angela's ass. And where is Tasha's friend? I can't think of Lala's name on the show right now. Where is she at? And it was just so much stuff. And why is Tariq so dumb, running off with people you don't really know, and just being caught up being mad at your daddy for no reason? Like, just typical teenage mess that you shouldn't even be going through, right? And so it was a very, very good episode. So they still have a lot of levels they can dive into this season. And I don't like Charlie Murphy's character on the show. R.I.P. Charlie Murphy. I don't like his character. And I'm just thinking, this must be a part of like a bigger scheme to get Ghost out of jail or something. This must be the option B, since he didn't make bail or whatever. And then I just really don't like Angela. And let me backdoor and go back to Ghost. Like, yeah, we all know that he's a gangster, a drug dealer, all this stuff. He's killed a lot of people, so he should be sitting in the jailhouse. But we don't want him sitting in the jailhouse for some odd reason. Like, we just love Ghost so much. Like, we want to see him win. We want him to have his club. We want him to have more clubs. We want him just to be a regular dude. Like, he's doing everything he can to get away from that life. But can we also argue that this is also karma coming back for all the people he's killed and got away with? But I still don't want to see my baby Ghost in jail. Like, I want him to be free. And going back to Angela, I can't stand that hoe. Like, I just really can't. Like, you made the decision to lay down with him. You found out his truth and all this stuff. And so you really believe that he murdered Buddy, the cop guy. Well, I can't think of people's names today. You really think that he would do that? So you go swinging your behind up in his club to arrest him, and you go swinging your behind up in his house with Tasha, just saying, this is business. This is business. And like when she did that, I really just wanted to take Angela by her hair and just swing her. And I don't know, like I can't stand chicks like that. Like, if you're gonna be down, you're gonna be down. But she could have at least had some kind of just respect for Tasha, because Tasha didn't ask for this. Tasha didn't ask for you to be in her life and all that extraness. She's just trying to be his wife. So yeah, so I'm pretty sure that Angela's gonna make me mad the whole season. Another popular program that came on over the weekend, the BET Awards. Now, I really didn't watch any of the BET Awards. I saw like some of the pre-stuff. I saw clips. I saw news stories. Let's just get to what everybody's been talking about. And for me, because it's on my radar, I'm a Joe Budden fan. I'm going to say this right now. I'm a fan of his music. I am a fan of who he is today. I am a fan of his podcast. And I just feel like a lot of people don't understand Joe Budden. And I just feel like if you've been a Joe Budden fan from like day one, early years, you have to see the growth in Joe. Like, he's been on drugs. He's been on this. He's talked about everything he has been through. You can even see this on when he was on Love and Hip Hop. He was still not right. We could see that. But Joe today, he may not seem like he's happy, but we can tell that he's happy. He is a different kind of Joe. And so with that, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go into the story. I am definitely a Joe Budden advocate. And I told this to my best friend because I felt like he kept trying to come for Joe Budden. And I was just like, I'm not having it. Like, I'm just not having it. It has to be a backstory to what happened between him and the Migos, and we find out that there was a motherfucking backstory. So I was vindicated. I was like, yeah, and that's when I told him, hey, I am a Joe Budden advocate. Like, I knew it had to be a reason for him to pop off like that. And so lucky for Joe, he's tough enough to where he doesn't even care about what people think. He's still gonna be Joe. And so if you saw the Complex interview, which I know all of you have probably seen it or heard people talk about it, and you probably saw the Complex show after the BET Awards where he explained the backstory on the show. And so basically they go through the interview with the Migos. You know, the vibe is already stanky. He explains on his podcast that he tried to dab everyone up. Everyone didn't want to shake his hand. So he said he could tell they were already feeling some type of way. He had ran into somebody that's connected to Lil Yachty, and this person told him to keep Lil Yachty out of his mouth. They squashed that. Boom, boom, boom. I guess the Migos somehow, some way, they ride for Yachty. So maybe that's why they're also feeling some type of way. And so if you don't know the backstory, I'm not going to explain everything. And so we get to the point to where the interview has taken a wrong turn. And academics, like, and I said this too to my best friend. I was like, they're on the red carpet. I'm pretty sure they cannot hear. And it's not them trying to say they can't understand. They just can't hear. And so I knew that was the case before they even said it on Complex 2 days later, right? So we have that. And we get to the aftermath where everyone's pretty much just dragging Joe, calling him Angry Joe, of course, all that stuff. And he's just rolling with it. He keeps saying that he likes the Migos. And like I said, if you don't listen to his podcast, like listen to his podcast. Like start from like episode 1 and work your way up. But if you want to know about the Migos stuff, like listen to the last episode and then start over. I feel like even if you just start from episode 1 of his podcast, you can get a better understanding of how Joe is, because Joe is being Joe. He's being authentic in these situations, and we can't fault him for being authentic. And he even said that they vote on who they want to interview. He didn't want to interview the Migos because he said they never give a good interview. And he says he understands also that's not good, you know, it's not a good way to be when you're in front of the camera. And that's basically your job, is to interview people in those settings. So he took full responsibility for that. And I think also like this would be a growing point for Joe. Like I feel like he's gonna grow more in his job with Complex, or either he's not going to be at Complex anymore. And so I think it's going to be a good challenge for him, because also if you listen to his podcast, like he doesn't like to be around people anyway. He's always saying that. And he owns the angry old guy that people put on him. He owns that as well. So I just say, before you just fully drag Joe even further, like just get to know him. Like listen to his music and understand, like he also is bipolar. And that's something that, there again, if you've been a fan throughout the years, you know that, you learned that on Love and Hip Hop. I believe they exposed that on a different show. They definitely talked about it on the podcast. And so if you have all this knowledge, you understand he's being who he is. And yeah, I just want to say that Joe Budden is a friend of the show. And if you listen to his podcast, you know that's one of the things that he says about people that he likes. So, yep, I like Joe Budden. So I have to also say that I'm definitely late to the Twilight party. And so the guy I've been talking to, he likes the movies, and he was totally right when he said there's a great storyline, a good love story. And so the past weekend, I started watching all of them, and I finished all of them, and I just want more. And it is like, it's a very, very good series of movies. And Bella, she made me so mad. Like, I get it. She's crazy in love with Edward and all this stuff. But she just wanted to be a vampire so damn bad. And when she finally got it, I was just totally mad, because number one, I am thankful that she, you know, she had the baby, beautiful little girl and everything. But it was God's will for you just to die. If you saw how bad she looked when she was giving birth, like she looked just like so sickly. It was just time for her to die. But no, here come Edward, biting her from like head to toe, trying to make her cross on over to the other side and be a vampire with him and his family. And I don't know, like it's good. So I'll probably end up watching it all over again, like, because I just really enjoyed the love story, like just from go. Like it's just a sweet little young love story. And Jacob, I like his character. I don't like the whole idea of him imprinting on Bella's daughter. And so basically when Bella's daughter grows up, that's going to be her man. And so, yeah, if you've never seen any of the Twilight movies, Bella, she gives birth to a baby that's basically half human, half vampire, if I am correct. And she's going to grow really fast. And so I think, she's going to grow to be 7 in her years, but It's going to be 7 and she's going to be grown and she's going to stay there. She's going to be like everyone else and she's never going to die, I believe. And so, yeah, just very good. And so, yeah, another TV show that I'm trying to catch up on, the Carmichael Show. They're on season 3. And if you don't watch this show, please watch it. It comes on NBC, the Carmichael Show. And it's just so good. Like, the comedy is smart. Like, it really makes you laugh. It makes you think. Like, they bring up good topics, good conversation. And everyone on the show is funny in their own way. And I promise you that. I'm not lying. Like, this show is so freaking funny. And so it's like one of my favorite TV shows. And so I'm up to like episode 3 of season 3. And so, yeah, I still have some more catching up to do, but if you're not into that show, get into it. It's on Netflix if you want to catch up on the past seasons. But yeah, get your life together on that. Jay-Z, as I said at the top of the show, he's dropping an album tomorrow, 4/44. And so if you have Tidal or if you have Sprint cell service, you'll be able to listen to the album tomorrow, this visual album. And so I'm excited because, like I said, it's a visual album. And Jay-Z is like my favorite all-time rapper. And I always say that J. Cole is my current favorite rapper. Yes, Jay-Z is still a current rapper because he's currently rapping. But I'm just saying, so you just know, like, when his run is over, he's going to be my favorite no matter what. And so I'm ready for this album. I'm hoping that the links and whatever I need will be available at midnight because I might stay up to just go ahead and do that. Going back to TV shows, HBO, they're teaming up with Trap Karaoke to promote one of my other favorite TV shows, Insecure and Ballers. And so, Trap Karaoke, they were just here recently, I think like last Friday. And so I feel like this is like their 3rd time they've been in Houston. Every time I say, oh, I'm going, this is where I need to be. I like to rap. I love rap. Like, I need to be there. Guess where Fallon was? Sitting at home, watching TV alone. So yeah, that's really dope that they're teaming up with Trap Karaoke. So that means they're getting very popular. That's a good brand to have sponsor you basically. And yeah, so that's really cool. On the messy side of things, we have to talk about T.I. and Tiny. And oh yeah, so Escape, they recently performed at the BET Awards, and they're going to be at the Essence Festival this weekend in New Orleans. And so, yeah, they did that. But Tiny was on her Instagram live giving her baby a bath, right? Innocent, simple, being a mother. No, not according to T.I. He jumps in her comments and says he asked for her to cover up that baby. And you know, Tiny clapped back and she was like, why are you being extra? This is so unnecessary. She's a baby. Ain't nothing showing, which is true. Nothing was showing. Like, she's a baby. And if you're looking at her like that, you're sick. And so, I just don't know. Whatever T.I. and Tiny has going on in the background outside of them getting their divorce, they just need to work it out because he's always just being so controlling. Like, if you watch their show they had, you saw that side of him come out a few times on that show with him being like an overbearing husband or a male figure. Like, it's just pretty ridiculous. And this is coming from someone that likes T.I. And so, yeah, I just thought that was just really weak. Like, there again, everything is on social media. Why? Like, if you have a problem with the video, call Tiny, text Tiny, do something, DM Tiny if you want to still be on social media. Why comment? I think it's pretty crazy. So this week, I wanted to bring up a topic that has been on my mind for a while, and just seeing it in the day-to-day with stuff I see on social media, people I talk to, just movies, TV, whatever. And the question is, when are you being a hoe versus just being sexually free? Now, for me, let's just start with the definition of what being a hoe is. And I'm going to give you two definitions. A clear definition, a woman or a man that has sex for money. Okay? A hoe. Clear definition. The definition that most people deal with every single day, a person that likes to sleep around. And this is where it gets a little foggy, because if you're not in a relationship and you're sleeping around, does that make you a hoe? If you're being responsible in these situations, does it make you a hoe? And see, a lot of things come into this narrative for me. And being who I am, I have to bring in religion, because I'm a very religious person. And no, I always say I'm not a perfect Christian. I always thought that, yes, I was going to wait to have sex until I was married. That did not happen. I lost my virginity when I was like 28. And so, yeah, so I'm on the the slow curve of that. And so I always carry around the guilty feeling of having sex out of marriage. And so that's always in the back of my brain. And no, this topic does not even come close to my life. I'm definitely not a hoe. My numbers are low. So no, I just bring this up as conversation because it's a fair question. And so you battle with that. If you're a religious person, you're out here bopping around, sleeping around with everyone, like, does that make you a hoe? Especially when you know the values that you are supposed to uphold. Does that make you a hoe? Let's see, what other examples can I bring up? Well, I definitely can say you're a hoe if you're in a relationship and you're sleeping around. You a hoe. Okay, so we don't have to talk about that example. But if you're just basically out here being single, like, how many bodies is too many bodies? Like, I know for females, it's different for us. Men, they want to act like every female they deal with is a little angel. They know for the most part you out here, you may be sleeping around, but they still want your number to be low, right? Or you can take the narrative that I take for the most part, like, I really don't care how many bodies that you have on you. I will ask you. If you tell me, great. I don't think I've only had one person tell me how many people they have slept with. And this is my ex-boyfriend that I've been talking to. And so he told me the number, and it shocked me, and not in a bad way, in a good way. And so it's there again, going back to that conversation, like, I had so many wrong assumptions about him that just wasn't fair. And so there again, if a man asks me my number, I happily tell people my number because my number is so low. And so for me, let's just start. Like I said, if I'm talking to a guy and I ask him what his number is and he tells me for some reason, cool, right? I don't know what's too much for me at this point. Because my thing is this. You have a lot of bodies on you as a man. As long as that report come back clean, we are A-okay. We can get it in. We can get married, whatever. That's not going to stop me from being with the man. Because I think also, I hate to say it, like, but it's real. It's different for men. Like, you have a penis. Like, ain't too much damage you can do to your penis except for getting a disease. Females, if you out here thotting and bopping, your baby girl is going to get just ran through. And that is a different conversation. A man is not going to want to be with a woman whose vagina is like a black hole. That's just real. That's just real talk. And so, in theory, a man probably could deal with a high number as long as your vagina was still good. Didn't have a lot of like real miles on it, right? And so I think that's also like a different, you have to look at it differently from a female's perspective and a male's perspective, as far as like how many bodies are too many bodies. So with that, like I said, I don't have a number as far as men, as far as a number being too high for men, because I just figure that men are really out here just sleeping around, because there again, the ratio to women to men is in the favor for men. They can out here choose whoever in multiples and still not run out of new females to sleep with. And so yes, like for me, a guy can be honest and tell me his number, and that's fine. I'm not going to look at him like a hoe. There again, like I think for me, to just kind of tie a bow in this conversation, a hoe to me is this person that's out here, like you in a relationship and you out here just thotting and bopping, right? Or you out here getting money for sleeping around with people. But if you are single and being responsible, that is your right. And that's your life. I can't knock you for that. Because just because I don't have as many bodies as the next person, that doesn't make me any less of a sexually active person. Like, I've still done it, especially if we're going to bring religion back into this. I still have committed that sin, a good amount of time with some people. And so it's still there on the plate. And so it doesn't make me any difference. But I just think like we have to still take away that stigma of people being called a hoe, because if females are out here being single and responsible and having sex with whoever they want to, they are called hoes and sluts and whatever, thoughts and all that good stuff, right? And so I just think like if we just take away the stigma from females, I think the conversation is better. Like, just call a spade a spade. And if a man can be free and single and do whatever, a female can be free and single. And so, yeah, that's definitely my takeaway from the conversation of what is a hoe. If you're a sports person, if you love basketball, like even though the season is over, still a lot of talk going on in the basketball world, a lot of stuff going on, rumors, some trades have happened. But before we get to all the basketball craziness, I just want to, football is upon us in a few months, and Derek Carr is officially the highest paid player in NFL history. $125 million for 5 years. Let that boy work. Let that boy cook. Like, he's getting to the money. I don't know how much of that is guaranteed, but that's a lot of money. So I like Derek Carr. I like what he's done with his career. Basketball. Gotta talk about basketball. All the crazy Laker fans, y'all got who y'all wanted, right? Y'all got Lonzo Ball. Y'all got him. How y'all feeling now? Y'all still going to make more moves in the off season? How long before y'all have a really solid team? Are y'all expecting for this to be a solid team out the gate, which is him? I don't know. I still think the Lakers will take a few more seasons to get back to the level of what we know the Lakers to be. And no, I'm not hating. I'm just being, factual. When you have still out there in the West, you still got the Avengers, a.k.a. Golden State, lurking. So until we, get rid of the Avengers, I don't know what to say about anyone in the West. Jimmy Butler, one of my favorite current players in the NBA. He's going to Minnesota. He's going to the Timberwolves. And, it was so much stuff surrounding what was going to happen with Jimmy Butler. I thought his final resting place was going to be still in Chicago. But then this trade happened, and so he's with the Timberwolves, and he's out here being crazy on social media, giving out his number, which I can't find because I want to find it because I like Jimmy Butler, but not to be a thought. But I just want to say hi. That's it. I don't want to call. Like, I would send a text. If I could find the number, I would low-key send a text. And I don't care if you laugh, make fun of me. Like, I like Jimmy Butler. Also, in the NBA, we had the NBA awards happen. This is the first time they have their own award show. And so, of course, we lingered the whole MVP thing out until this moment. And so I guess we're going to have to wait till late June every single year to get who the MVP is for the NBA season. And so just to give you a little rundown of who took away some awards, your favorite player, not mine, Draymond Green, he was named Defensive Player of the Year. Westbrook, who worked really, really hard, he won MVP. So I really can't be mad. Like, Harden, he worked hella hard too. Westbrook, he worked hella hard. And I just like, I can talk about Oklahoma all day long. I can talk about Westbrook all day long. But at the end of the day, I recognize talent. He's one of the greats. And I would like for him to get a ring somewhere down the line once Houston gets one with Harden and Chris Paul. Then the gates can open officially for everyone else. Speaking of my Rockets, Mike D'Antoni, he won Coach of the Year, which I get it. I get what they're probably going on as far as like, excuse me, the season that the Rockets have had with him and the turnaround that we've had. But baby, if he don't draw up more plays than shooting threes for this upcoming season, I'm going to be mad. We're going to have to do something else but throw that ball behind the line. Like, we got to play some defense. Also, with my Rockets, Eric Gordon, he's also becoming another favorite of mine that I want to stay with the Rockets for a long time. He won the Sixth Man of the Year, and he's one of the first ever Rockets to win that award. So shout out to Eric Gordon and Mike D'Antoni. So let's just get to it. Let's just talk about it. I know y'all want to know my opinion on how I'm feeling about my Rockets, the best team in the world, getting Chris Paul. Now, if you know me on my day-to-day, you know that I've talked about the Clippers, but I've always said that I've liked Chris Paul. And I've always said that it's unfortunate that he's on the Clippers because they get so far, but it's never enough. And since he's been on the Clippers have given us hell every single season, no matter if we were good or bad in that given season. And so I just never thought that we were truly a conversation piece for Chris Paul. I just thought it was one of those things like he's coming out here really to talk to the Spurs because that's what we saw initially reported. And I just thought, you know what, he's just doing a little Texas tour. He's going to go to San Antonio, Houston, maybe even Dallas, right? Just to be nice. And so when I saw that the conversation was really real and that James Harden has really been trying to recruit him for a little minute, and so that the conversations were real. And when I got the notification a couple days ago, I was just like, oh my gosh. And to see that we gave up all these players that I'm attached to Patrick Beverley because he's like the little heart of our team. He's the defensive player of our team. He's scrappy. He's that dirty player that you need on your team. I don't want to hear nothing else about Westbrook and Beverley though. But he's scrappy, he's good, and number one, he needed to be paid more. And so if he was able to get more money with this trade, I'm happy for him. He seems to be excited about moving on, different possibilities with the Clippers, and you just never know. Like, I just say, like, you should never underestimate when you have no-name pieces, when you don't have so-called superstars on a team. Like, superstars, sometimes they're just not born overnight. Like, you got to put in work. Like, you got to do all that stuff, right? And so they sent Beverly, Decker, and Lou Williams to the Clippers, and I think someone else, because I felt like after we first got the news, I felt like it wasn't enough, so they threw in another player, and then they get a draft pick, and so we get Chris Paul. And so I hear that there's other irons out in the fire that we're trying to get, possibly maybe Paul George, which I don't see how that's going to happen. Possibly Carmelo, which I've already seen talks of Carmelo going to the Cavs. There's a lot of crazy talk surrounding my Rockets, so I really don't know what other pieces the GM is trying to put together, but I do know for a fact that the GM be out here hustling for us, and that's probably why he got that extension and he got more money, because they knew that this deal was finna be done. And you got to give that man some credit. So I'm a big fan of our GM, and I'm definitely happy with this move. I'm excited to see what's going to bring for us in the next season. I know definitely we'll be in the playoffs, but will it be enough to go against the Avengers? Top five. Again, with my psychology brain, I just say, you know what? I'm going to find just some random facts to throw together and present them. And so random fact number 5. Some people are afraid of being happy. I can't read either. My notes are so bad sometimes. And I'm tired, y'all. I feel like I've been saying that for the past few weeks too, but it's reality. Number 5. Some people are afraid of being too happy because they think something tragic is going to happen. And this is called cherophobia. And I know a lot of people that live like that. And it's just well, why do you expect something bad to happen just because you being blessed? If I'm being blessed, I'm going to be thank you, God, that I'm blessed every single day. Because I know right now I'm going through a time and I'm just waiting for the sunshine so I can say, I am so happy. Thank you, Jesus. I am waiting for that. Number 4, we're more likely to trust those who genuinely express their weaknesses and their vulnerabilities. And I think that's true, because sometimes we tend to look at people as being almost superhuman, depending on who they are. If they don't make any mistakes or they're too perfect. I know, for me, a lot of people think that I'm this perfect, cookie cutter Fallon, that I don't cuss, that I don't drink, that I don't have sex, that I'm just this boring person to a certain degree, and or the biggest one. And I get this from a lot of people I went to school with, that I don't listen to rap. And people just go off assumptions as far as people think that I'm a nerd. People listen to the way that I talk. People think just because I like XYZ that I don't do certain things. But yeah. If you show me your weaknesses, I definitely will look at you in a different light. And it also can be a bonding experience, because you can basically trade your war stories of things that you've been through and things you're going through. Number 3, when there should be a word for something, but there isn't. This is called a lexical gap. And that's Lexica. Lexical gap. And yeah, just a random fact. Nothing to expand on. Number 2. Lying. For all the liars out in the world, I had to choose this fact because it's true. It requires a lot of mental effort. Let's just pause right there. That's why I don't understand why people lie. You have to remember your lie. You got to think of new lies to cover up your lies you're telling. You got to remember why you told the lie. You got to remember the truth. And it's just it becomes this big puzzle, this big circle. You know that picture that we always see with Julia Roberts, where she's standing trying to figure out this math problem and it's just spinning? That's what lying is like. And I just some people will lie about the sun being out when it's not. I know people like that, and I just don't understand it. My daddy said, why lie when the truth will do? Because the truth will always do. Number one, which I think is so true as well, me being the music head, listening to breakup music helps you overcome breakups quicker because of the emotional validation, yes, girl, that the music provides. And I am that person. I'll put on my sad music and I start listening to the words. I was just like, I was right. This song says it. Like, he's a low down dirty dog. Like, to the left, to the left. Like, we all have our songs, like, especially females. We have our go-to songs, our go-to playlist when it's close to a breakup, we broke up. We have music for all those steps. And when you finally get to that breakup and you start playing that music, you muddle on that for X amount of days or whatever, and then you start playing your other Beyonce music, getting ready to go to the club and find you a new man or make your old man jealous music. Like, there's phases. So yeah, I definitely agree with this.
If I stop saying the word nigga, how am I going to describe nigga shit?
Dumb nigga shit. I'm trying to make this fast, but we'll see. This clown, Ray Lewis, had the audacity to get on TV and make this comment to my fave, Colin Kaepernick. Do you want to play football or be an activist? Mr. Ray Lewis, so you're telling me that you can't do two things at once? You can't be employed and you can't have your own beliefs? Is this what you're telling me with this comment or your question to Kaepernick? You're telling me as a football player, you can't also care about humanity? So what if Kaepernick wasn't about Black Lives Matter, but what if he was just fighting for cancer? Would that be okay? So are you able to play football and fight cancer? Because the NFL, they do that. They promote, different months for different cancers. So that's doing two things at once. You can be an advocate for cancer and be a football player. Okay, we got that out of the way. But you just can't be about human lives that are black. Is that the connection that I'm missing? Because I fully do not understand. And my tone is fully being sarcastic for those that don't pick up on that. How in the hell can you ask a question like that? How can you get on TV, tap dancing, asking a stupid question like that? Because it's completely stupid. That's like saying you can't walk and think at the same time, or you can't walk and chew gum and think at the same time. You are able to do more than one thing. And just because you're employed by a certain person doesn't mean you can't have your values. Because at the end of the day, when you're saying that he can't be about the Black Lives Matter movement, that he can't care about human lives and get a paycheck, which I find to be ridiculous. And I find it to be so ridiculous, all the conversations that I see going around on social media, on TV, about how Kaepernick is not worth playing in the NFL anymore anyway. So forget that he's trying to be an activist. He's just not worth it. I know a few teams that could use Kaepernick as their starter today. So miss me with that. And so I hate when people that look like me get on TV and they say stupid shit like this, because how can you not be standing up for your black brother, trying to advocate for him to get a job? How come there's no one standing in the gap for Kaepernick that can make a difference as far as him getting a job? How come no one is protesting that for him? Because he took a lot of heat for being an activist for this movement, and he does a lot of great things for the community, and I keep saying that as well. This is not a bad young man at all. And so yeah, I have a big issue with Ray Lewis. And I'm completely done with Ray Lewis at this point. Definitely done. On the ratchet side, you know, I gotta be ratchet just for a little bit. We gotta talk about Jocelyn Hernandez. And I haven't even been watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta at all because I'm just kind of over that, I think. But I've never been a fan of hers at all because she's just so extra and just so over the top. And so she was fighting with Stevie J's daughter. Like, I don't understand Jocelyn. Like, I just really don't. When you're operating with a man, even if you're not with Stevie J, even if you are with Stevie J, if he has kids, you have to have a different level of respect to his children. And that's forever. I don't care if she is grown or whatever. You can't be on social media fighting with this young lady or saying that, calling her a hoe, saying that hoe mad because I run her daddy. Now run along and find your own cock to suck, you nappy head. Like, all these negative things she's saying to a young lady on social media. Like, if I was Stevie J, like, I just would cut all my ties with Jocelyn and try to raise that baby somehow, some way together, but not together, if that makes sense. Like, because she is crazy. She is literally crazy. Like, she has, like, her moments where you think, like, oh, she's getting ready to get it together. She's, you know, acting like she's grown up, but then you get on social media and you just wilding out and you don't give a damn. Like, I can't stand for that. And there again, like, you have to operate different when you're dealing with people that have children. And some people don't know how to respect the boundaries that go with dealing with someone that has a child. But yeah, that's all I have for dumb nigga shit. They definitely earned that title this week. We must empower ourselves. We must empower ourselves with knowledge. We can't be afraid of knowledge. Knowledge is free. Knowledge will always be here. We have to know where we came from so we can stand firmly in where we are going and have the boldest confidence. Dropping jewels. So, dropping jewels. I really want to touch on something that really struck a chord with me. I was on Facebook and I saw this topic about children in Haiti being servants. And so I did some research to try to figure out more on this topic. And it just really made me sad when I started to dive deeper into what's been going on for years on top of years. And basically, the children in Haiti that are being servants are called Restavek, and that's Restavek. So I hope I'm saying that right. And basically, they're being unpaid servants for other families within the community. And like I said, this is something that's been practiced heavily in Haiti for years. And typically, the poverty level is so high in Haiti. Families are still having kids, but instead of being able to afford to pay for them, they just basically ship them off to another family where they go and they work for them. And so it's a really, really sad thing. And it's not just females, it's males too. And, you know, I just think it's really, really sad. Like, there again, how come we don't have the spotlight on situations like this? How come I don't see different celebrities talking about this? How come we don't have an awareness month about this, an awareness day about this? I mean, basically, these kids are in danger of being physically, mentally, and sexually abused. This can totally happen and does happen to these child servants. And I just think it's a really, really sad thing. And basically, it's just a modern day slavery and child trafficking. Like, it's really bad. And Haiti is such a small country, but this has affected 300,000 children collectively. That's a big number. And for the most part, these kids, they work for these other families until they're grown, and then they are released into the world. That's a sad life to live. And when I saw this, and when I was doing my research, it made me think about that movie that Jay Ellis from the TV show The Game, aka Blue, also from Insecure. It's a movie on Netflix, and I should have looked up the movie, but it was a really, really good movie where he went over to Africa to do some teaching, and he's teaching students, and it's this one particular young lady who's really, really smart, loves to go to school. They become close, and basically this scenario happened to her. And it wasn't because her parents couldn't afford to raise her, because she was going to this, this really good private school. And so basically her daddy did something wrong, and instead of her dad going to jail, the daughter got sent to go work for one of these kings, or it's a set of kings in this village where all these young people, basically, they're sex slaves, and they clean, and they couldn't go to school, but they made a special exception for her. And so it turns out to be a sad story. She's able to go to school. She's able to do her final test for the semester. She passed. She's pregnant, right? And she ends up dying when having the baby. And it made me so sad. And to know that stuff like this really goes on in Haiti and in Africa, there again, what are we doing to change the narratives for these young people that have to start their lives like this? And I know one person who's making a difference is Colin Kaepernick. He sent food over to Somalia. He's doing things like that, but people still throw dirt on his name. I had to definitely circle back to that. But yeah, so if you haven't heard about this, educate yourself, read up on it. And yeah, it'll blow your mind, the stuff that you'll read about this. So yeah, I hate to end the show on a sad note, but I want this show to be a happy place. I want you to get positive jewels that you can take away and make your day a little bit better. I want us to have fun. I want to talk about ratchet things. I want to talk about pop culture. I want to definitely talk about music and all that stuff. But I want to drop stuff like this too, because I don't know, I'm passionate about that stuff. And that's another reason why I truly wanted to do this podcast, because I wanted to be able to talk to more people than just my friends and family about stuff that I care about. I care about stuff like this. I want to learn about stuff like this. I want to be able to make a difference somehow, even if it's just for one person. So I want to challenge y'all to do the same. How can you make a difference this year? Don't even try to do it every day. Just how can you make a difference this year for one person? You should definitely challenge yourself to do that. And so with that, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Oh You Thought. Sorry again that I didn't have a rap. I definitely will be talking about the Jay-Z album next week. So get ready for that. And if you're not following me on social media, get your life together. Follow me on Twitter, Pretty and Smart 81. That's pretty, the letter N, smart 81. I'm sorry. When I say I'm tired, I'm pretty sure y'all can hear it in my voice now. I am so tired. Pretty and Smart 81. That's my Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Let's get my Instagram popping, people. Let's get it popping. OhYouThoughtFallon, FALLON. If you want to email me anything, my email is OhYouThoughtFallon@gmail.com. Hit up my website. I have content there. I have old episodes. I have practice episodes that I started doing last year before I launched my beautiful baby. So check out the website. The website is OhYouThoughtFallon.com. And with that, I'm out. Have a safe holiday weekend. Wear your seatbelts. Do not drink and drive. But have fun. Live. Glow up. Bless up. All that beautiful stuff. And I'll holler at y'all next week. Until next time, remember to glow up, bless up, stay prayed up, and hold it down.
Hold it down.